So, guys, we like to do a little bit of music history on here, and I think Chitlin Circuit is good because we're getting towards the middle to the end of Black History Month. So, this is a good, knowledgeable section for y'all. But the Chitlin Circuit, really the backbone of what Black cultural performance is. It was a network of Black-owned venues, theaters, and clubs, juke joints, things like that across the South and across the Midwest too. You would get some of those in Chicago. I know that it was one of those spaces that Black artists could really perform because back in the day a lot of artists weren't just getting booked at all these venues that white artists were getting booked at. So it was places that they could still go to make money, they could still go to perform, they could still go to do what they love, but it was mostly and made for, made by, and Black people. So some of the famous performers who you would have saw come up through the circuit, you would have saw James Brown, BB King, Etta James, one of my favorites of all time, Ray Charles, crazy dude. Ray Charles is like, I feel like he's the original industry bad boy, but whatever. Lil Richard
Ray Charles was actually the first person to perform the blues here, I'm pretty sure.
in Chicago specifically.
No, in Jacksonville.
Oh shit.
Yeah, there's a museum like 10 minutes from my house. I think I read that there. Fun fact.
Fun fact within some fun facts. We always got them for you. But Aretha Franklin, Little Richard, my last two. And I thought this was just interesting because of the fact that I feel like we're getting to a space where there is more ways for artists to go out on their own and do things on their own. Obviously, we're seeing people like LaRussell who signed like a distribution deal, but there is more things like that where you could just be on distribution with a label and still be doing your own thing, running your own shows, doing everything like that. And I think in a way, what LaRussell was doing was kind of one of those like Chitlin circuit type of things. It was a space created for Black creatives. He would bring in different people. I remember when he brought in Juvenile and stuff like that. Like that was a good example of it. But you bringing in different artists and being able to do things still on your terms. And I think in a way, this will help a lot of Black artists and a lot of smaller artists because there would be more venues run by Black people where we're trying to bring in new and fresh Black talent. So I think this
do
is
you
something that go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, do you think the Chitlin circuit could exist in today's context? Because I think I've thought about that a lot, like why there isn't a Chitlin circuit now, you know?
Mhm.
And I feel like the reason is because of obviously finances, policing, and regulation. And when I say this, and this isn't just like an American thing, like is if you go to the UK, for example, there was a there was a piece of legislation passed in the UK called, I'm gonna find the name of it. Section I wrote about it in one of my Black Atlantic videos, but it was a piece of legislation essentially saying that if you were throwing a party or a concert or some type of music event, that you were
Mhm.
required to report to this government agency or this government form you had to fill out saying what type of music was being played and what the demographic of people that was showing up to this um event would likely be, right?
Mhm.
So, and they would use that to police the areas, right? Certain clubs out here in Jacksonville, the police is outside, and if it get rowdy, the police finna walk up in there. You know what I'm saying? If there's a ton of Black people pulling up in the area, the cops gonna be there. And I feel like back in the day, you could get away with like underground juke joint speakeasy type of vibes, but today I feel like it's more difficult, you know what I'm saying, to get something like that off.
I do feel like it's more difficult, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to short sell us and say that we can't do it because I've been to speakeasies in Chicago where it's just people doing um like kind of like DJ sets and it's white dudes and there's no problem. And I know there's different things that come with being in Black communities, being in Black spaces, but at the same time, I don't think that that means that we couldn't have something like this going on. I think it would just take people who cared about music and who cared about the product and who wanted to be able to curate these things for artists, people like us, to bring stuff that would be safe, like that would bring in enough people, that would give artists a chance to really build like the core audience. One of the stories I always go back to is you talking about seeing Blast when the ticket was like $20, like shit like that will build an artist fan base for the rest of their career, to be honest. So it's like I think it's possible. I think it would just take um I think it's a little bit tougher too, though, because of the fact that Live Nation has so much like power and so much hands and what goes on with live performing. But at the same time, I don't know. Like, I don't think I think if it started with something like buying clubs and renovating those in the spaces or doing something like that, taking stuff that's already there that Live Nation doesn't own, I still think that it could be different pop-ups in different cities. Live Nation doesn't own literally everything, but they own a lot. You would just have to find ways around it, and that's just kind of the game, I guess.
I think Live Nation, like when you get to a certain capacity of venue, yes, you're right. You have to work around them. But
Mhm,
DJ Nate is he's my favorite DJ in Jacksonville.
mhm.
Bro, every venue I'm like, this would be so cool for Rum and Jerk to be in. He's like, bro, I've asked every promoter and every club owner in Jacksonville over the last 8 years at some point to perform in that venue. And every time they just tell me they don't want black people in their venue.
Well, that's why I'm kinda
Mm.
saying it has to get to a point of people owning the venues. It can't be
But
anymore like, "We don't want you in there," because that's just like the barrier. Like I said, a person like La Russell, yeah, it probably took him a while to sit there and be able to build up to the point where he could do something in his backyard, and now he could be one of the people a part of the Chitlin Circuit because he got a concert stage. And I know it's tougher and it's gonna be there's barriers and all that stuff, but I don't wanna just shortchange and say it's not possible.
I'm not
You know what I'm saying?
shortchanging us nor saying it's impossible. Like, yes, Lil Russell did it, but I think we're talking about the Chitlin circuit. Let's talk about the second half of that word, circuit, a network of people. You know what I'm saying? Am I saying individuals can't build clubs? Am I saying individuals can't own venues? No, because we can do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People can do that. I'm saying a network of people. It's like, bro, Chitlin circuit, because the system has been set up to like almost make it harder for us to do things, we've have always navigated around said system, right? The Underground Railroad is literally that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? The Chitlin Circuit is literally that. I'm not saying these things are impossible. I just say in today, especially in a surveillance state where they in your phone, bro, where you say you need some toilet paper and then Alexa sends you a notification to your phone for 50% off some toilet paper on Amazon. You know what I'm saying? Do I think today we could work with it? Like, is that, I think it's just hard. I don't think anything's impossible. I'm just saying, like, knowing that, bro, at the Jack's Beach bars, somebody told me the DJs are not allowed to play two hip hop songs back to back. They're not allowed. It's not allowed. You can only play one at a time. In 2026, I just think something like that, because of regulation, capital, is just it's a harder hill to climb. Do I think it's impossible? No, because these are things I've already, like, when I think about what I want to be doing, like these are things I want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But do I think I'm like the circuit part would be super hard today. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and I think the only way it could work, in my opinion, and we'll probably get off this unless you have something else to say about it. But I think the only way it could work is if you focused on black cities. Because if we bring it back to just Jax, if you look at the demographic of Jax is 49% white. So that probably means that the majority of the clubs, the majority of the bars that they might be able to play
Yeah,
at are owned by white people. So if you're focused more in a Mobile, Alabama, where there's probably black people owning some of this stuff, we're in black towns. And I know it's like, and at the same time, is a lot of
that's
niggas
a
are gonna do what you
fact.
just did. Like a lot of niggas might. I thought you scrunched your face up, but like a lot of niggas might scrunch their face up at that. Like I don't want to go to Mobile, Alabama. I don't want to go to
No,
some of
no,
the
but that's what I
small
was
towns.
gonna say. That's what I was.
Yeah,
The thing is, like, while you say yes, Jacksonville is 49% white. When you talk about a black city, yes, you have to go to where there's large demographics of black people, not necessarily a black city, right?
yeah,
And when you look at a tour or when an artist is going on tour, they go to they may they go hit Charlotte potentially,
mhm,
maybe Memphis on the way down here, and they gonna hit Atlanta. And if
yeah,
they're big, they'll hit Orlando. If they're
yeah.
big, they'll hit Orlando, or they may hit Miami if they got a certain demographic of people coming to their shows. But Atlanta is as far south as it goes, bro. There's 300,000 black people in Jacksonville, Florida. You know what I'm saying? That's that's a big number. That's a big number in a major city, in the biggest city in the state, you know? And it's because it's not sexy to come to Jacksonville. It's not sexy to come
No,
to Mobile. It's not sexy to go to
New Orleans.
Jackson,
Yeah,
New Orleans. New Orleans, sometimes they get away with it because of the city vibe and stuff like that.
yeah,
But you know what I'm saying? They hit Atlanta, they hit Houston, they hit Atlanta, Houston, maybe a New Orleans, a Memphis, or Charlotte, a DC. Like they hit these bigger cities. But if you're trying to build your name, like, yeah, you're gonna have to go to, you know what I'm saying, Little Rock.
yeah. And the thing is, the reason that I think it's going to be even better for the people who are doing the smaller boutique stuff is because Live Nation is not going to sign everybody that's trying to build up a fan base. They're trying to sign the niggas who they can send to Atlanta, New York, DC, Orlando, and make them a bunch of bread. They're not. There a lot of. I feel like a lot of it is going to be a lot of people who it's just maybes too. I feel like it's going to be more like the not more like obviously we're going to get good artists and good people in there, but it's going to be kind of like what's that shit in New York? I actually forget it. Forget it. You know what I'm saying?
If if you out there and you're an up and coming artist and you're looking to sign a 720 deal with two real ass, two brothers, two educated brothers, bro, we gonna take you all over the world, bro. We gonna hit Mobile, we gonna hit Little Rock, we gonna hit Dayton, Daytona Beach. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
Kissimmee. We
yeah.
gonna hit all them little towns. You gonna get your bread, bro. Hey, I'm gonna start planting the seed now. We gonna get us a little, you know what I'm saying, a little Dr. Dre or a little Tupac. You know what I'm saying? We gonna find somebody and we're gonna take them through the South. We gonna make the new Chitlin circuit with bro.
Hell yeah, bro. That's how it's gonna be.
Welcome to Death Row, baby. Welcome to Death Row.